Okay, I don't know whether this is going to work, because it's quite sunny out here. But I'm on chapter 10. And, Chloe, if you're still listening, after dinner they made their way uptown and knocked on the door of number 4 Archangel Street. After a while, Welby answered, one bushy eyebrow raised. "You're quite early. May we speak to Miss Culpepper?" "She's not here." "Is she preparing the skyship?" Welby frowned. "It's just, someone told us that, well, it's the Sojourn down in the docks, and it's a bit on the small side," Maudie finished. Welby leant towards them. "And who told you that?" Arthur's cheeks flushed with red. He didn't think should mention Madame Vane. "Expedition relationships are based on trust. I sincerely advise that if you don't trust Miss Culpepper, then you consider not turning up tomorrow. Good day." Welby began closing the door. Arthur stopped it with his foot. "But—" Welby tilted his head. "But nothing. Trust or do not. Be here at this door by 8 chimes tomorrow or not. This is your choice," he said, and shut the door. "That was strange," Maud said. "What do you think?" She shrugged. "Remember what Madame Vane said? We need to let her know by 7 chimes. I don't know, Artie. Maybe we should." Arthur took the locket out. "Maud, Harriet Culpepper has given us a chance we may never have again. We have to take it. Even if it all goes wrong tomorrow and her ship is a disaster and we have to stay at Beggins Hall forever, I'd rather take the risk than never know." He pulled her away and they began walking back to the slumps. Shortly a clock tower bell began to chime. They paused and counted 7. "So this is it? We're really going with Harriet Culpepper," said Maudie. He nodded. "Come on, let's get back to Beggins Hall. We can leave early in the morning. We'll be long gone before they realise." They dashed along. Arthur was too wrapped up in the thrill of what lay ahead to notice the figure in the sharp suit watching them. As they walked through the alley on the back to Beggins Hall, he struck. Arthur saw the flash of a white handkerchief and smelt the bitter tang of chemicals. Then everything went black. Arthur awoke to darkness and a familiar sound, yet his brain couldn't make sense of it. He felt for Maudie beside him, grasped her elbow and groaned. His head throbbed, and the insistent noise was making it worse. In fact, the sound was making the whole building shake. A curious, slow bow. He remembered the handkerchief. A grunt came from Maudie. I feel like I've been in a stampede," she murmured. "Where are we?" He tried to open his eyes, but everything blurred. "Stop the chimes, Artie. They're making my head explode." "Chimes?" He recognised them as they stopped. The low bell of the old ship watchtower in the slumps. Their watchtower had rung a call to 2. Something directly above. He couldn't be sure the number of chimes. Warm morning light shone beneath a distant door. He realised they were in the cellar. His stomach lurched. The light meant it was already the next day, the start day of the expedition. They were miles away from Archangel Street. He could only hope they weren't too late. Maudie seemed to think the same thing, as they both sat bolt upright in panic. "Sis, we got to get out of here." Arthur scrambled to his feet, which made his head bang even harder. "But what if someone's guarding us?" Maudie whispered. "Come on." Arthur clambered up the steps. He looked under the door. "I can't see anyone." Maudie yanked the handle furiously. "Is anyone there? We're locked in." Arthur banged his hand against the wood. "Hey! Help!" Arthur nudged Maudie to the side and started pulling at the handle. "It's not going to suddenly open for you, is it?" "Don't snap at me, Maud." "Why have we been taken? Who would do this?" Arthur thought about the rumours of children being taken from the slums to work in the pitch mines. We've got to get out of here before whoever it is comes back. Look, yanking a handle isn't going to get us anywhere. Search the room for anything that could help us out. They ran back down the stairs and began scrabbling around on the dusty floor and feeling the walls. There's nothing, Arthur called. But there had to be a way. There was always a way. He ran back up the stairs and began examining the door. These hinges are as old as this building. If we can prise the pins from them, maybe we could lift the door right off. The pins came out easily enough, but as they grabbed onto the wood to pull it open, the bolt on the other side stuck fast. They could only get it open an inch or two. We need something to lever it open, Maudie said. I know, but we don't have anything, Arthur snapped. Artie? Shh, I'm thinking. Artie? He shook his head and kicked the door, panic rising with every passing second. We're not going to make it in time. Arthur! He stopped and looked at her. Raising her eyebrows, Maudie said, Your arm! He squinted at his sister for a moment, then seemed to realise what she was suggesting, just before she explained. I'll pull the door back as much as I can, then you put your arm in the gap and lever it while pulling with your real hand. He nodded. On 3. 1, 2... They pulled with all they had, and a sharp slither of bright morning light cut into the cellar. It's not wide enough. Pull harder. They grunted with the effort, and the gap widened just enough for Arthur to push his iron arm through. Keep pulling. I'll wrench it open, he said. The wood groaned with a strain, and the rusty bolt on the other side of the door creaked. It's not budging. Arthur's metal arm began denting under the weight of the door. Don't ease up. Give it everything you've got. Brace your foot on the frame. Together. With one mighty effort, there was a creak and a ping, and the cellar door flung inwards, sending them crashing backwards. We did it, Arthur said in a muffled voice from beneath the door. Great, and we're a lot flatter. Kicking the heavy wood out of the way, he saw the cellar was flooded with daylight. They jumped up and dashed from the watchtower into the street outside, right into Mrs. Beggins, sending her empty basket skittering across the cobbles. She grabbed them roughly by the scruff of their shirts. There you are! What do you two think you're playing at?